30-second takes today is going to center around the Patriots head coaching position, Mike Vrabel and Jerod Mayo, and everything that's going on with that. Gentlemen, how are we feeling about this situation? That's what we're going to be talking about on 30-second takes today. John, you started saying how you were feeling. So, Eric, you want to start with 30-second takes?
Sure, let's do it.
Go for it, man.
Listen, I think that the Patriots got their guy. I think Mike Vrabel is a very good coach, and he'll coach the Patriot way, which is, of course, famous and instilled by Belichick. That said, you can't help but feel for Jerod Mayo. I think he deserved that shot. To fire him after 1 year with the personnel he had is just simply ridiculous. So I hope he gets another shot somewhere else because I think he will be a very good head coach. But that said, if a guy comes on the market that you want, you got to take it.
I agree wholeheartedly. John, you ready to go, man?
Let's do it. Pop up the timer. I feel kind of similar to Eric. I don't think Mayo got a fair shot. I think for them to hire him and move him out, it's almost like they wanted Bravel in the first place. They should have just hired him or kept Bill Belichick. Like, I don't know. I think they probably got a better coach in the end, but we'll never know from Mayo because he certainly didn't have the talent to do anything. I think of the Steelers who want to run a good coach out of town and say, look, you just had the Patriots guy 1 year. There's like a similar feel there, but it's all right. They got a good guy.
Yeah, I'll jump in here real quick. My thing is really echoing what John said. Patriots hired Mike McDaniels today. If they wanted Bill Belichick and to keep the Patriot way and everything they were doing, they should have just kept Bill Belichick. It kind of screams dysfunction to me, which is crazy to say after all of those championships that the Patriots won. But that's what kind of happens after a dynasty comes and goes is, they don't know really what to do because they had it so great for years upon years upon years. It's just really interesting to me front to back. What are your guys' other thoughts on this whole topic, the thought process? There's a race card that can be played in this as well that I think could be interesting to talk about. What do you guys think, man?
Well, set the race thing aside for just a second.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
it's important to note that the Patriots were very unique in that Bill Belichick was not only head coach, but he was GM making all of those decisions for the team. And when you fire a guy like that, and now you're going to have a GM, ownership was some of the best that you can get in the NFL, meaning that for the most part, Robert Kraft was pretty hands off. He would interject here and there, like when Belichick wanted to get rid of Brady, like far sooner than they actually did. But for the most part, Kraft rather let Belichick do his thing. Now that he has to make some more weighty decisions, it feels like you understand how lucky you were to have such a good coach quarterback combo, and they were in for quite a rude awakening, and here they are. They have to live with it.
Yeah, John, I want to know what your thoughts are. Yeah, go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, you're good. I think there's always an element of race when a black coach loses their job or a black person loses their job, or talk about who can play starting quarterback because it's a thinking man's position and all these other things. There's always an element, right? In this particular case, I don't think it was anything to do with that. I think Jerod Mayo loses his job if he's black, white, purple, or yellow, because when you replace a legend, it's an awful task that nobody wants to do. If you do it on the field, sometimes it works. Hey, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to replace Brett Favre. Okay, if you're both really good, we'll just keep it rolling. But with coaches, I always say you don't want to replace the legend. You want to replace the guy who replaces the legend. If Jerod Mayo this year came out, took this team to a division championship in that division, won a playoff game, we might be having the same conversation because Patriots fans are used to going to every Super Bowl and winning 2/3 of them. So I don't know. Like, I'm saying that a bit facetiously. I don't think if he won a playoff game, he'd get fired, but I just think it's one of those situations where it's like we got a crap roster. We're starting over at the beginning. Somebody's got to be the face of it. And then once we get to a point where we think we're going to be better, we get rid of the guy who was the face of all the trash. I've seen it a million times before. We'll see it a million times again.
Is that 1 year though? I mean, what could he have possibly shown or not shown? It's such a quick.
Nothing. I'm not saying it's reasonable for the record either. I think it's batshit crazy. I just think if Jerod Mayo were Jerod Mayo and we're white, he'd be in the same position if he had the same record.
No, I
Jerod
agree
Mayo
with
from Subway.
Jared Mayo is crazy. I agree with you in everything that you said, John. The only thing that, makes me scratch my head is this time last year when they hired him, roughly this time last year, they anointed him as the guy that was always going to be there, apparent for the Patriots job, and he was going to be the guy to lead them in this next era, this, that, and the third. I agree. Mike Vrabel is a fantastic coaching hire. I was screaming for him to be a head coach in the NFL, whether that be for us if we fired Stefanski, Ryan Day being replaced by him if the run that we went on and we'll talk about here in a minute didn't happen. But to me, it's just weird that you put all your eggs in this guy's basket. You anoint him as the heir apparent. You always knew that was something that Kraft was on record saying. To then, after one season with a piss poor roster and potentially a franchise quarterback, Drake May, he looked like he could be the guy there. We're kicking him to the curb already. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It should be noted too, though, that there were some internal sources saying that, Jerod's a great guy, but he wasn't ready for the big time decisions. I think on paper it looks a little weird because you're replacing a kind of defensive styled coach with another defensive styled coach. But a lot of people had said kind of off the record that he wasn't really ready for it. He didn't have much experience going into that role. So when you look at it from that angle, yeah, I get the move. The problem is why hire him in the first place? If I'm not mistaken, was Vrabel not available when they hired Mayo? I could be wrong on that. Maybe the overlap was there, but it just seems like they did it wrong.
Yeah, I'm with you guys.